Hello everyone and a very happy new year to all our dedicated viewers and fans. It's us again, the passionate team behind the TV channel Days Drama Digest, your ultimate source for all things dramatic, emotional, and utterly captivating from the world of Days of Our Lives. We're thrilled to be back with you today, diving deep into the heart-pounding, tear-jerking, and suspense-filled stories that unfolded on New Year's Day in the iconic town of Salem. If you've been following along with the twists and turns of this beloved soap opera, you know that Salem is never short on drama, especially during the holidays when emotions run high and secrets bubble to the surface, like champagne at midnight. But before we plunge into the events of January 1st, we want to remind you that if you're curious about the explosive happenings on New Year's Eve hosts Midnight Confessions, betrayals, and celebrations gone awry, be sure to check our dedicated video on that very topic. It's packed with insights that will set the stage perfectly for what we're about to discuss. Now, let's turn our attention to the raw, unfiltered turmoil that's gripping some of our favorite characters as the new year dawns. We all know that J.J. Devereaux has been navigating a stormy sea of emotional devastation ever since that fateful shooting incident involving Theo Carver. It all happened right around the holiday season, a time that's supposed to be filled with joy, family gatherings, and twinkling lights, but for J.J. it turned into a nightmare of guilt, regret, and self-doubt. Picture this, the snow gently falling outside the windows of Salem's cozy homes, the air filled with the scent of pine trees and freshly baked cookies, yet inside J.J.'s mind, a whirlwind of darkness swirls. On Christmas Eve, of all nights a night meant for miracles and redemption, found himself teetering on the edge of despair, seriously contemplating ending it all. The way of his actions, the accidental discharge of his weapon that left Theo fighting for his life, pressed down on him like an unbreakable chain. It's a storyline that tugs at the heartstrings, reminding us of the fragility of the human spirit and how one split-second decision can alter lives forever. But here's where the drama intensifies. This very turmoil is the catalyst that brought Eli Grant and Lonnie Price together in the first place. Eli, ever the steadfast and compassionate figure in Salem, saw the pain etched across JJ's face and stepped in during those bleak holiday moments. Lonnie, with her own history of heartache and resilience, found solace in Ellie's arms amid the chaos. Their connection wasn't born out of convenience, but out of a shared understanding of loss and the need for human connection when the world feels like it's crumbling. As New Year's Day arrives, we see JJ still grappling with these demons, his eyes shadowed by sleepless nights, his conversations laced with unspoken apologies. Will he find a path to forgiveness, not just from others but from himself? The residents of Salem hold their breath, knowing that JJ's journey is far from over, and the new year might bring either healing or further heartbreak. Shifting our gaze to another corner of Salem, where the air is thick with uncertainty and medical mysteries, we find Chanel Dupree at the center of a potentially life-altering revelation. Her HCG levels, those telltale hormones that doctors monitor so closely, are alarmingly high, sending shockwaves through her inner circle. Sarah Horton, the ever-vigilant and caring physician who's become like family to many in Salem, is racked with worry. She fears the worst. Could this be a sign that Chanel's cancer, that insidious beast she battled so fiercely in the past, is rearing its ugly head once more? The thought alone is enough to chill the blood, evoking memories of hospital rooms filled with beeping machines, sterile white walls, and the quiet sobs of loved ones. Sarah paces the corridors of University Hospital, her mind racing through medical journals and past cases, desperate to rule out a relapse that could shatter Chanel's hard-won remission. Yet, in true Days of Our Lives fashion, there's a twist that could turn this fear into fragile hope or perhaps even greater peril. What if these elevated HCG levels aren't a harbinger of disease, but rather the first whisper of new life? Pregnancy? The word hangs in the air like a double-edged sword, promising joy but threatening devastation. Chanel and her partner have already endured a harrowing ordeal with their adopted child, a journey marked by bureaucratic nightmares, emotional roller coasters, and moments where hope seemed to slip through their fingers like sand. Adding a biological pregnancy to the mix? It's nothing short of a high-stakes gamble. For Chanel, whose body has been through the ringer with cancer treatments that left lingering vulnerabilities, carrying a child could be life-threatening. Imagine the internal conflict, the fluttering excitement of impending motherhood, clashing with the stark reality of medical risks that could endanger both her and the baby. The doctor's warnings echo in her main complications like preterm labor, organ strain, or worse, a recurrence triggered by hormonal shifts. Chanel, with her signature blend of strength and vulnerability, might choose to keep the secret buried deep within her heart until the holidays have passed. Why spoil the festive cheer with such heavy news? She envisions family gatherings around the fireplace, laughter echoing through the rooms, and toast to new beginnings, all while she guards this explosive truth. But secrets in Salem have a way of seeping out, don't they? Johnny DiMera, with his sharp intuition and unbreakable bond to Chanel, senses that something is amiss. His brow furrows as he watches her, noticing the subtle changes, the way she hesitates before sipping her coffee, the fleeting touches to her abdomen, the distant look in her eyes during conversations. Johnny, ever the romantic dreamer shaped by the DiMera legacy of intrigue, can't shake the feeling that Chanel is hiding a bombshell. And then there's Paulina Price, Chanel's fierce and protective mother, whose maternal instincts are honed like a blade. Paulina's radar pings with every evasive answer, every forced smile. She's seen her daughter through storms before, and now, as the clock strikes midnight into the new year, she vows silently to uncover the truth. No matter the cost. Will Chanel confide in them, or will the pressure build to a dramatic confrontation? The suspense is palpable, leaving viewers on the edge of their seats, hearts pounding in anticipation. Now, let's delve into the volatile world of the DiMera and Blake families, where betrayal and redemption dance a dangerous tango. Peter Blake, the enigmatic figure with a past as checkered as Salem's cobblestone streets, finds himself in a hospital bed, his body racked with pain from a life-threatening injury. The culprit? None other than Kristen DiMera, whose impulsive actions led to a brutal attack and Peter's fateful fall onto a jagged bone that pierced his flesh like a dagger from the shadows. As New Year's Day sunlight filters through the hospital blinds, Peter's eyes blaze with fury as he confronts Kristen. He blames her unequivocally, not just for the physical assault but for the deeper betrayal that cuts to his core. "You let this happen," he might rasp, his voice hoarse from pain and anger, recounting the moment when trust shattered like glass underfoot. The scene is charged with raw emotion, machines beeping in the background, nurses hovering just outside the door, and the metallic tang of antiseptic mingling with the scent of wilted flowers from well-wishers. Kristen, for her part, is a whirlwind of remorse and desperation. She's no stranger to villainy, but in this moment, her humanity shines through gore at least. She tries to make it so. With tears streaming down her face, she apologizes profusely, her words tumbling out in a torrent of pleas and promises. "I never meant for this to happen," she whispers, reaching out a trembling hand, perhaps offering to make amends in whatever way she can, financially, emotionally, or through some grand DiMera gesture. But Peter, his heart hardened by the near-death experience, isn't ready to forgive. The betrayal runs too deep, a wound that festers beyond the physical. In a dramatic crescendo, he orders her out of the room, his voice rising to a thunderous command that echoes down the hallway. "Get out. You've done enough damage." Kristen stumbles away, her heels clicking against the linoleum, leaving behind a trail of shattered illusions. Yeah, even as he banishes her, Peter's expression betrays a flicker of doubt. Does he truly mean to sever ties forever? Or is this just the opening act in a longer saga of reconciliation? In Salem, forgiveness is often a slow burn fueled by time and unexpected alliances. And this New Year's clash could be the spark that ignites even more fireworks. And speaking of fireworks, we can't overlook the precocious and potentially perilous adventures of young Rachel Black. This pint-sized powerhouse, with her wide-eyed curiosity and unyielding determination, is set to embark on a little field trip that could spell disaster. Inspired by the skills imparted by Sophia Choi, perhaps lessons in independence, cunning, or some mischievous art that only a child could turn into chaos, Rachel's mind buzzes with excitement. As the new year begins, imagine her sneaking out under the cover of early morning fog, her small backpack slung over her shoulder, filled with snacks, a map scribbled in crayon, and whatever tools Sophia taught her to wield. The streets of Salem, usually bustling with post-holiday shoppers, take on an eerie quiet, amplifying the sense of impending doom. Will Rachel's innocent escapade turn into a full-blown crisis? The possibilities are endless and terrifying. A wrong turn leading her into the path of Salem's underbelly, an encounter with a shady character from her family's tangled past, or perhaps a simple mishap like getting lost in the woods surrounding the town. Her parents, oblivious at first to her absence, might discover an empty bed and a note scrawled in childish handwriting. Going on adventure to practice, panic wooden celebrity Black racing through the streets, calling her name, while Kristen, fresh from her hospital confrontation, channels her guilt into frantic searches. The drama builds layer by layer, phone calls to the police, gatherings of concerned neighbors, and flashbacks to Sophia's lessons that now seem ominously prophetic. Disaster striking could mean anything from a minor scrape to a major revelation that ties back into the larger web of Salem's secrets. Rachel's story is a reminder that in days of our lives, even the youngest characters can ignite the most explosive plots, blending cuteness with catastrophe in a way that keeps us glued to our screens. These, dear viewers, are the riveting stories of New Year's events in Salem that we've been dying to share with you. From JJ's soul-crushing guilt and the unexpected romance it sparked between Eli and Lonnie, to Channel's high-stakes medical mystery that teeters between hope and horror, with Johnny and Paulina circling ever closer to the truth. Then there's the blistering confrontation between Peter and Kristen, a betrayal that leaves scars both seen and unseen, and young Rachel's daring field trip that threatens to unleash untold disaster. Each thread weaves into the rich tapestry of Days of Our Lives, a show that captures the essence of human drama of loss, redemption, and the relentless pursuit of truth amid deception. But let's expand even further on these narratives, because in Salem, nothing is ever as simple as it seems. Take JJ's storyline, for instance. The shooting of Theo wasn't just an accident. It was a culmination of pressures building over months. JJ, once the golden boy of the Devereaux family, had been struggling with his role as a cop, the expectations placed upon him and the ghosts of his past addictions. That Christmas Eve moment, standing alone on the pier with the cold wind whipping at his face, contemplating the unthinkable, was a low point that resonated with so many viewers dealing with their own mental health battles. Ellie's intervention wasn't heroic in a flashy way, it was quiet, supportive, the kind of friendship that saves lives. And Lonnie? Her bond with Eli grew from shared vulnerability with her own family secrets, her protective instincts toward her loved ones. On New Year's Day, as fireworks lit up the sky, JJ might find himself reflecting on this, perhaps sharing a tentative conversation with Gabby or another confidant, hinting at a slow climb toward recovery. Channel's predicament deserves even more scrutiny. Her cancer battle was a grueling saga, filled with chemotherapy sessions that left her weak and bald, but unbreakable in spirit. Now, with HCG levels spiking, Sarah's fears are grounded in science. Hormones can mimic tumor markers, leading to false alarms or real threats. But pregnancy? For someone with Channel's history, it's a minefield. The adopted child they cherished faced rejection or health issues, testing their relationship to the brink. If Chanel is indeed pregnant, the risks include preeclampsia, gestational diabetes exacerbated by prior treatments, or even the heartbreaking choice between her life and the baby's. Johnny, with his DiMera charm and intensity, might confront her in a moonlit garden, his voice trembling. "Chanel, I know you're hiding something. Let me in." Paulina, the matriarch with a heart of gold wrapped in steel, could orchestrate a family intervention, her booming voice masking her terror. The holiday's end might force the revelation, turning a celebratory brunch into a tearful confession. Peter and Kristen's clash is pure soap opera gold. Peter's fall wasn't accidental, it was the climax of a heated argument, Kristen's temper flaring like a wildfire. The bone in question, perhaps a decorative artifact in the DiMera mansion, became a weapon of fate, impaling him in a gruesome twist. His blame isn't just verbal, it's visceral, accusing her of premeditation born from their convoluted history of love and hate. Kristen's apologies come from a place of genuine regret, perhaps flashbacks to their passionate past intercut with the present agony. But Peter's rejection is final for now. Kicking her out, he turns to the window, watching the New Year's crowds below, pondering alliances with old enemies like Stefano's other heirs. Rachel's field trip adds a layer of youthful peril. Sophia Choi, the enigmatic tutor with her own agenda, taught skills like lockpicking or evasion, innocent in context but dangerous in practice. Rachel's adventure could lead to discovering a hidden family secret, like a forgotten DiMera vault, or crossing paths with a returning villain. Disaster striking might involve a near kidnapping, a fall into the river, or stumbling upon evidence that unravels adult plots. Her determination is adorable yet alarming, a mirror to the adult's own reckless pursuits. As we wrap up this deep dive, remember that Days of Our Lives thrives on these interconnected tales, where one character's pain ripples through the community. We've expanded on these New Year's Day events to give you a fuller picture filled with the drama, detail, and emotional depth that makes Salem unforgettable. Stay tuned for more from Days Drama Digest. We'll be back with updates, analyses, and exclusive insights. Until next time, keep the drama alive.